All right, good afternoon. My name is Aaliyah James. I am one of the enrollment coordinators here with the Citadel Graduate College. Thank you so much for joining us for our annual spring open house. We hope that you come with all of your questions and they get answered today. We have some awesome students on our panel. We have some faculty members coming later, and then our program directors as well. So, any questions you have about graduate school, undergraduate school, let us know today. We hope that you walk away wanting to apply and then getting enrolled, okay? So, I want to go ahead and get started by introducing our students who are on our panel today. Our students that are on our panel today. So we have Miss Michelle Cadell. I'm going to let you raise your hand. You might recognize her name. She's actually one of us that work in the CGC. And then we have Ashlyn Howard. She is one of our Veteran Day students. She is in our Marketing and Business Development program. Miss Michelle, let me go back. She's in our Master's of Science in Leadership. And then we have Caroline Seabrook, who is in our Intelligence Security Program, Master's Program. And then Mr. James Radcliffe, who is an alumni of our Electrical Engineering program through the undergraduate program. Okay. So we have a couple of questions for them today. If any of these programs are programs you're interested in, definitely these students are going to be here when the program wraps up. So if you have more questions for them at the end, let us know and they'll be here and available to answer those for you. I'm going to start with our first question. In what ways has your academic program met your expectations? And I'll let Ashlyn begin with the microphone.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me okay? All right, perfect. So, what ways has my academic program helped me? So to start off, I am an undergraduate student in the Veteran Day program. We're the only ones who can attend classes alongside the Corps of Cadets during the day, so it's very exciting. And within the business school, I would first off say the professors. We have a mix of professors who are tenured and ones who are not, to kind of allow for bringing in the real world stuff into the classroom, which is very interesting because I'm able to get kind of a diverse um, education in that sense, to also bring in not just what's in the book, but also what's actually going on outside of the Citadel bubble. Additionally, I would say with being at the Citadel, one thing I also really like is our career center. I kind of would tie that in with being academic wise, just because they've been able to help me get a lot of experience in the sense of I was able to intern with Deloitte, who's a known as one of the big four accounting firms. And if it wasn't for the business school or the career center, I would never thought that I would be capable to do that last summer. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Who would like to go next?
Hi. Um, so my name's Caroline. So in a way, how my program has met and or exceeded my expectations. I am an Intel major, and with that, it all started with my mother's former career at the Patriots Point Naval and Maritime Museum, just over the bridge where the carrier is located in Charleston Harbor. Um, Her career there afforded me the privilege of growing up in and on and around precious naval relics, which really just fostered a whole love of, like God and country. Woo. And so for that, that's been a lingering infatuation of mine, if you will. And so I recently also graduated from College of Charleston before I came here, where I got my degree in communications. But it was just a growing desire of mine to want to work for the government, be that in military or an alphabet agency. And so having my professors structure their particular courses, one in particular was law enforcement intelligence with Commander Gilbert. He's actually a reservist with the Coast Guard. His insight has been astounding and invaluable. And just little things like that from our professors wanting to you know give above and beyond to their students really just you know brought it all home and super like full circle for me to want to do that in my studies, and hopefully with what I want to do, which is work for the government, protect our country. So yeah.
So, my name is Michelle. I spent the first part of my life, my main career, as a teacher in Berkeley County. I was a teacher for 18 years before I came to the Citadel and started working in admissions. So, when I went to go start school, it had been a while. I was a little more seasoned. Um, and I was scared to death to start again. But I started with one class my first semester, which is a great way to start. And I started with a certificate program to figure out whether or not I really wanted to do the full program. Um, but it really met my expectations because the professors are amazing. They were great at getting back to me by email, any questions I had. And many of my classmates recognized my name from the grad college and actually messaged me questions about the class as well. So that was an interesting take on all of it. But yeah, it met my expectations. I didn't think I'd be able to do it, and hasn't been an issue.
It's a good story about being a teacher. I didn't realize, I started out as a major in education in '95 from Southern Illinois University when I was active duty Navy. And so my first job after getting out was a substitute teacher at College Park Elementary. So I taught music because I'm also a musician, playing a band on the side. So, but anyways, it took me about 20 years, more like 18 years on and off to complete the other bachelor's of science degree in electrical engineering. Started out at Trident, so I'm a 2+2 transfer. And I could not recommend that it's just an amazing program to have done that. Obviously, the costs were low for my job and for myself, and they had very knowledgeable teachers. But when I came here to the Citadel, I'd say my best experiences were from the PhDs that were teaching or instructing all of our classes. The labs, the gear, or just above reproach. They're just amazing, high quality stuff. But I finally graduated in 2023, just last year. And because I do work for the Navy now as a civilian, I was able to advance to a GS 13 position because of that degree, even though I didn't have the experience, the long experience of an electrical engineer. So that's a great career. I know that you said you want to go government, alphabet. Yeah. NIWIC is 4 letters. And that's where I work now. And it's been wonderful for me to advance in my position as, first of all, a technician and now a junior engineer. But because I've had that experience with the work, they kept me at a level that was better for me, I think. I think that's all I have for how, how we address
Yeah.
that first question. So I will go
Yeah,
to
we'll
the
move
second
on.
question.
Yeah, we'll move on to our next one, which I'll start with you again. So how do you think you were able to balance that your academics, your work life, also family life? A lot of our students are adults who are coming back who have kids and families. So how did you balance that through your program?
Yeah, so balancing life and school, especially in engineering, it's a little bit more sacrifice, I would think, because for me, it took a lot of time for me to learn these complicated math ones that I have in my socks. And it was just really a big challenge, but persistence is key. You will get it. The instructors will not give up and they'll help you get through. So I did okay, but I gave up golf. I quit 2 of the bands I was in. And what else I do? I don't know, a whole bunch of fun stuff. And I was also going to school part-time. So it was 3 years sitting in seats here at the Citadel, paid off. And now I'm going to start playing golf again by next year. I can take lessons because I forgot how to play. And I'm going to join another band. But when you're going through the program for the processes, you may want to look at the time management. That's definitely key on how to get through successfully with these with some of these degrees. And so that's all I have to say about that. I'll pass it to you.
Sure. So time management wise, my children are grown, but I do have 2 grandchildren, and I have made it my goal in life to have them every weekend. So I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old every weekend. Work full time here at the Citadel. And I just find that if I schedule a certain time during my day, during the week, I always spend that time doing nothing but schoolwork. Focus and stay on schedule. And I'm very organized. I like to, write in my planner and do all that kind of thing. But time management wise, hasn't changed a whole lot. There has been maybe 1 or 2 weekends that I've had to tell my husband, okay, you handle the girls. I'm going to do my homework. So, but yeah, that's how I've handled it.
So in terms of being a veteran day student, I could talk a little about my own, but also about my friends and peers who go to school here. So with us attending during the day, it's basically like a full-time job that you're unfortunately not getting paid for. But a lot of them are actually able to balance it. Time management is the number one thing, just prioritizing schedules and classes with work, things of that nature. I do have some friends who are working full-time while attending classes during the day, the veterans, and it's a lot on their schedule, they say, but if they're open and honest with what's going on, communication's key with your professors. There are many times where if I can't make it to a class, I will send my professor an email and be like, hey, Dr. So-and-so, I am not able to make it today because of XYZ. And they really appreciate that ahead of time instead of doing it after the fact. So communication's key, same with time management, and just having a good support system for the veterans who attend during the day. We really do have a good one. The Veteran Student Success Center is a fabulous place where you can go just to kind of decompress, talk about the stressors of, everything from transitioning, things of that nature. So you can kind of lean on everybody in that sense.
Hey, so my answer is going to be a little more elementary than that, given that I'm probably a little, less removed from undergrad studies. Um, when I was at the College of Charleston for 4 out of my 5 years there, because I was kind of silly and changed my major twice, don't recommend that. Um, I was a sports marketing and promotions intern in our athletic department, and we had some very unholy work hours, and I can only imagine how much worse it is for the actual athletes. So bless them for that. But through that, that has taught me so much more about being able to manage my time all the more um, precisely at this level of study, because there were times where we would not get to our arena until, let's see here, 9 a.m. to set up. If it was like a blackout game, we'd all put out blackout t-shirts on all 4,000 and something seats, and we would not be out of the arena until probably midnight. So it made for a very long day. But between having that experience under my belt and being able to have that practical, knowledge of how to navigate life now, don't be afraid to print out, hour by hour schedules, like something very, very precisely like that. That definitely really helps. So I would definitely recommend that.
Yeah, great advice. Time management is a key in adulting in general. So we do have a big crowd online. This question is I'm going to start with you, Caroline. What resources, if any, here on campus have you used, and which ones have been the most helpful as a student, especially as an online student?
Starbucks and the library. In all honesty, the library, you're able to go on to their website and book study rooms. They have 4 or 5 rooms. Some are smaller than others, etc. So you can really have that room to collaborate with your classmates. Even though I am an online student, I am also a graduate assistant here in human resources. And our office is located right outside of the sophomore gate, which is probably that way direction, aside from capers. And it's very, very fun and fulfilling to be able to, be a part of that. But definitely caffeine, and also lots of sleep. You gotta take care of yourself. So
I also agree with Starbucks and the library. I used to live at Starbucks because they close at 9 p.m. And then you would go to the library for the last hour that they're open until they close at 10 p.m. my first couple of years here. But I also utilized our Student Success Center, which they have a writing lab. They help with tutoring for math because even though I'm a business major, my engineering friends are all doing the calculus stuff. I could not do that as whatsoever. So I had lots of help there. Definitely recommend all of those. And then I mentioned the Career Center, which everyone has access to, even though, we're all adults here and we've been in the world. Things are changing, especially with AI and what resumes and stuff are supposed to look like. And they are a fabulous help with getting all of that up to date. They have resumes for if you're looking to go into the federal work, if you've obviously been working for multiple years and you're not just fresh out of college. So definitely recommend them.
So as far as resources goes, I'm an online student and I honestly am not a joiner. I'm not going to the library. I'm not doing the Starbucks. I'm going home. I'm getting in my pajamas and I'm getting online, but I do use the online library resource a lot for a lot of my assignments. So that is a big plus, and teachers are always there. You know, when you message them, 9 times out of 10, you'll get a message back at a random hour. You'll have to check it the next day. But yeah, so there are a lot of resources on campus for those of you who like to join, but also those of you who just want to be at home in your PJs.
Yeah, so being that engineering major, there were some resources that they gave to us that we could use to reach out to do some research. One was from IEEE, which the International Electrical and Engineering. It's a society. Anyways, they have online repository for data research and research paper material. And so that really helped as well. Having that, of course, the instructor, they recommended we do that. And I was like, yeah, I'll be the charter member for the class of 2023. So it helped me kind of get more involved with these online help sites to get the information I needed to write reports and do some research. As far as online, there was nothing online for the EE for engineering because you have lab spaces and you have lab time. The resource I really enjoyed here at the Citadel was the labs, or were the labs. My verb was wrong, sorry. And I'm not an English major. So the gear they had there was just amazing. Everything worked fine. The instructors were always available. And like you were saying too, they're out late at night, replying to emails and questions, and it really helped. But you have to reach out to them. You have to be kind of proactive to get their attention and ask the questions to get the answers. So yeah, the labs, they had some conference spaces too, but we weren't really using that. They had their own rooms for doing senior design, and they had their own, desks, tables, and whiteboards on the wall and everything else. So that really helped, and those are good resources. And yeah, that's about it. Nothing online really, except for the IEEE or iExplore site that I was able to use. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks
Yeah.
so much. So we're going to actually have our student support services come and talk to you guys next. So you'll be able to learn about what we actually have available to you so you can figure out what will work for you as a student. A quick note to our virtual participants, we sent you a link to be able to ask questions. Please feel free to drop them in there. They'll get them over to me so we can make sure we get it to our panelists. Drop them in the chat as well. One final question for our students, and this was a big one because we have a variety of students here. What kind of advice would you give to a prospective student, whether for your program or for a prospective student who is just coming to the Citadel in general?
All right. So I got the mic. I'm going to go first. Patience, patience, patience. It takes time to learn. You can't just feed from a fire hose. It takes time to kind of drip into the brain and start to understand everything. And with engineering, there's a lot of information that comes out all at once. Fortunately, I was a part-time student, so I was able to kind of absorb it a little bit better. But a lot of the full-time students, my friends, they were a bit struggling. So what helped there was for the group of people to get together off hours and just work together as a team to work through the math problems, work through the engineering issues and that. So I would suggest that get yourself a good team, folks you like to hang out with and do some offsite learning. And it could be fun too. You'd be cracking jokes or maybe have a beverage, a tea or a water. And yeah, so but just be patient. It will happen. The instructors will not give up. They believe in all the students here. And that was really encouraging, especially when eventually I think everyone might have a feeling of, man, I'm overwhelmed. What do I do? And they know how to kind of bring you back down and, settle you down and get you moving forward again. So, yeah.
So patience is a great piece of advice. Also, don't give up. Be persistent. If you come across your first really hard assignment and you're not getting answers from your professor even, because sometimes the way they explain things, you may not understand, you can actually message any of your classmates through that main board, and a lot of them will understand and y'all can hash things out together. So don't give up. Everyone is working for you. Just don't make it harder on yourself than you have to.
I agree with all those things. I'll speak more onto the Veteran Day student side for if we do have anybody who's online or here who's looking to do that. Patience is a big one. This is a military college, but it's not the real military in that sense. So that's something massive to remember. I tell a lot of incoming veterans that, like, hey, this is not one of the main 5 branches now because we have the Space Force plus Coast Guard, somewhere around there. But they are, what they're doing is applicable to them being here at a junior military institution. So patience is key. And when it comes to studies, I really like don't give up either, because it can be challenging, especially if you haven't written an essay in 5, 6, 10 plus years. Utilize your resources, lean on your professors, lean on your peers, because we're all going through it together. And so just don't isolate yourself. That would be my advice. And get as involved as you want, especially with at least the Veteran Day students. We have access. You can use the gym, which is here on campus. A lot of the vets love to go in there early morning, late evening. So you have access to the gym. You can get involved with clubs. We actually had a few graduate students in some of our business clubs. We have a student managed investment fund. I had a few grad students in there. So if you can make this experience what you want to, and I highly encourage you to get the most out of being here at the Citadel.
Excellent advice, everyone. To piggyback off of what they have just said, I definitely agree with getting involved, especially if you are local. To provide a little bit of background, I am a part of the East Cooper Ducks Unlimited chapter, which is our local wetlands conservation, like main organization locally. They do the Southeastern Wildlife Exposition every year. They're always doing that oyster roast on that Friday night of that weekend. But a part of that, you know, my experience being a part of a top 1% fundraising committee is that we always have Citadel Ducks Unlimited volunteers come and help us, which I was like, hey guys, I'm going to grad school in the next year or two at the Citadel. Let me help. And they're like, okay. And so it's, at first it was extremely intimidating seeing like all these like cadets like in their uniforms marching around and everything. And I was at first extremely intimidated, but then after a few weeks, I was like, wait, they're actually really cool kids. Like, so I mean, honestly, it's really not as intimidating as I was like psyching myself out to be, because one or two like off-putting like moments where you get out of your car, you're not paying attention really, and all of a sudden you see like a whole slew of cadets coming out of the woodworks, and it's like, oh no. And so, you really do just get used to it, especially if you're local. If you're on campus, have fun with it. We're all students first and foremost. So, I mean, it's really not that deep, but still put forth your best, your best foot with that. So, yeah.
Awesome. We're going to give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. So again, we are going to have our students, I believe the majority are going to stick around for a while. So if you have questions, we're going to make a quick little transition for our next presentation. So definitely if you have questions for them, find them. We have a networking part at the end. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and make that transition. Thank you guys again. Take your little swag off of the seats. We appreciate you. All right. Okay, I think we're ready to get started for our student spotlight, student support spotlight. So again, they were talking about the services here on campus. Now we're going to bring those individuals up to you. They have a couple of slides to talk about. So first, we're going to start with Maggie Hill from Student Affairs. And a clicker.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing today? Good? Awesome. All right, welcome. So I am Captain Maggie Hill, Program Coordinator and Student Success Advisor. I work in the Office of Academic and Student Affairs. We are here to help you throughout, let's see. No? No, that's okay. Oh, wait, there we go. All right. So Student Affairs and Academic Services, we're here to help you. We're in any way that we possibly can. So we don't just work with undergrads, we work with grad students, veteran students, evening students, day students. So all the pictures, you'll notice these are all CGC students, except for the Bulldog. I don't know if he's got a master's in anything, but I had to throw G3 on there because he makes me smile. All right. We got a little clicker, slow action. Okay, so Student Affairs, we're here to equip our students, leadership enhancement. We're trying to improve diversity. We're trying to just overall help and support all of our students throughout whatever needs come up. So let's see our umbrellas. The Student Affairs and Academic Service team, we oversee, there we go. We oversee the Student Success Center, the Career Center, CSI, Citadel Success Institute, Multicultural Center, and intramurals. So like they said, you can get involved in Days Hall and go play a game of, racquetball, dodgeball, tennis, all the activities. I play none of them, but I hear they're really fun. So you can get involved in these activities too. These services and these opportunities are available to you as well. And so through our office, we will reach out to you periodically just to check in, and we do academic advising. So I myself am called a student success advisor. I can work with any student in any major in any program at any point in time and help you. So if you're struggling with time management, if you're struggling with some of the academics, balancing the work life, I will jump on a Zoom, meet you in the office, meet you for coffee. If you work full time, you can't come till 5:30, I'm happy to stay late to meet with you. So our office is here to help all students, not just undergrad. We're here to help the whole gamut of the Citadel community. There we go. So we do offer academic support and guidance. We can help you with Canvas, degree works. If you're having trouble registering, something's not working, you don't know who to call, shoot us an email. We're the ones who will say, okay, you don't know who to contact. Let me contact them for you. Let me connect you. Let me make that introduction. Let me help you find that. Even if you're like, I'm just staring at the website, I don't even know where to go. Reach out to us. We are happy to help you. Our job is to make your life easier. So if you're taking whether one class or a full load of classes, balancing the academic life with work life, military life, family life, whatever life, we are here to support you and be there for you and help you. So that's all Student Affairs is. We want to help students in all ways with Student Success Center, Career Center, international students, Multicultural Center, and CSI. So feel free to reach out to us at any point in time. We've got a table up front. The QR code will bring you to the Student Affairs site. And Lieutenant Colonel Phi is a fellow advisor. She's the director of advising for campus. Her and I'm upstairs, she's right below me. And so in our office, we've got an office of 4 that are there just to help students in any way we can. So please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help you, even if it's 2 years from now and you're like, I remember there was that crazy redhead girl who spoke a little fastly and was stuttering over her words and her clicker didn't work. Who was that girl? Me. Reach out to me. I will still help you 2 years from now. I'm happy to help at any point in time if you guys need anything. So we also hire GAs. So if anybody is looking for GA work, we have 3 currently in our office. So we would love to have you. So if you're interested, Lieutenant Colonel Phi, she is someone, if you want to reach out, take a screenshot of her info. You can reach out to her and she can set you up with an interview. And then if you have any questions, we do online, Zoom, even phone call. I got some West Coasters that I talk to on the phone, noon their time, 3 p.m. my time. So we work with all the time zones. So any questions, reach out to Student Affairs. We're just here to help. And I hope you guys have a great time. And if you have any questions, I'll be out at the table when this is all over. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. So now we're going to have Lindsay Spring from our Student Success Center to talk a little bit about our Success Center and our writing lab. Microphone, and then if you point it at the laptop, it works for you.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, afternoon. We're getting kind of to that crossover period. I'm Dr. Lindsay Spring, and I am part of the Student Success Center staff where I direct the writing lab, which you see right here. Okay, so the Student Success Center, we are available. We have have a ton of hours that are available to all of our students. We are here for any student, undergrad, graduate student, transfer students. But our space is open and available on Mondays through Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and on Friday from 8 to 3 p.m. And we're in Thompson Hall, so all the way on the opposite end of the parade deck from this building right here. And we have tutoring at various hours during our open availability, but we are a great place to study and to come. We have group study rooms, we have a computer lab, we have printers. We are available to any student at any time to offer an alternative space to the library. We like to bill ourselves in that way. But here's our contact information, and we do have a website if you'd like to hear more information about us. Our mission is to help all of you get to graduation successfully. And so that's what we're here to do. We have a range of support services that we give our students, which you can see listed here. Maggie is above us, her office. And so you've heard a little bit about the Student Success Center, but to go into some more specifics, we have academic athletic services, which is for our undergraduate population. But if you are interested in working with athletes here, we do have graduate students that work in that office and then advise our athletes. And that could be a good graduate assistant opportunity for some of you if you're interested. We have students with disability services. That's Shannon McKenzie. We have business cards for her outside on a table and some more resources for how she can help. Students with disability services, if there have been accommodations given to you in the past for undergraduate or even high school, or if something happens and you hurt your wrist and it's difficult to type or to write or to do something, we have accommodations that can be put into place through her office. And so her name again is Shannon McKenzie, and you can get to her through our website. Multicultural Student Services is under our umbrella, as is all of our academic support services. And so we have a range of tutoring services. What is most used by our graduate students, which is why I'm here, is our writing lab. So some of you might be a couple years from undergrad, right? You took a break and now you're returning. Welcome back. We're happy to have you here. Maybe you're undergrad, you did MLA, and now in your graduate program, you're doing APA, or maybe you're thinking, what are these letters that this woman is telling me? We do a lot of work with our graduate students to get them up to snuff, for lack of a better term, with their different academic disciplines and the documentation styles. So we can help you there. We can help you with research, help you put together papers. We work with all of our graduate programs and graduate students in the writing lab. So we can be a great resource. It can be a little intimidating, right, to get back into the groove of writing. If you get rusty fast, and so we are a good resource for you guys. And we also have these different areas too: student success coaching, math lab, public speaking lab, and subject area tutoring, which might be of interest to you because we love hiring our graduate students as tutors. We do have cadet tutors. And they do make up a good percentage of our tutoring staff, but we also have graduate students who are tutors, and we have professional tutors. And so these are men and women who are in the Charleston community that come back and like to tutor. For example, our nursing tutor is a nurse at MUSC. A favorite of the writing lab is a retired teacher. She was 30 years a teacher in Georgia and has moved to South Carolina and just wants to be back with students. And so we have a range of tutors. So if you do come to the Student Success Center, you will not be paired with a cadet. We make sure that you guys in the transfer program and the graduate school get paired with a peer or somebody with a more advanced degree so that you will be appropriately paired there. But again, we love to hire graduate students. And so if you are looking to get involved on campus, this might be a good place to find a job. And so that is what we have at the Student Success Center. So we hope to see you. We're a great place, really warm, really friendly. We always have candy. The cadets love it, but we share it with the graduate students too.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. All right, we're going to move right along to our Veteran Success Center. So Ashlyn talked much about them. We have Miss Melissa West here to talk more about it. Here you are.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Just by a show of hands, can you raise your hand if you are a veteran student or currently active duty? Awesome. And raise your hand if you're a spouse of a veteran. Okay. And a dependent of a veteran? Not too many of those. Well, thank you all for your service. If you did serve, we really appreciate it. As she mentioned, I'm from the Veteran Student Success Center. We have a little townhouse, little clubhouse, we like to call it, right behind Bond Hall at 204 Richardson. In there, we have several tools and resources for our veteran students. So we have a student lounge, a computer lab. It has 4 computers on it, access to a printer. And we also have some academic resiliency and career coaching specifically for our veteran students. The veteran student experience here is a little bit different. We still have somewhat of that military structure on campus, which can feel really comfortable and homey. And so we really try and make it as convenient as possible for our veteran students to attend the Citadel. We also have our Veterans Integration to Academic Leadership, our VITAL program. So once a week, we have someone from the VA on campus in the Veteran Student Success Center who can help you with things like medical benefits, submitting disability claims, kind of all of that good stuff. She's your connection to the VA. We also have a veteran student mentorship program. This pairs a veteran student with a member of our local community who is in the same field as the student is hoping to go into. So it's a really great opportunity to expand your network and learn more about your field of choice. We also provide assistance with VA education benefits, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. We have a veteran emergency relief fund, and we also have a student veterans association. So this is a group of student veterans, just like yourself, who have served, our students at the Citadel, and get together for monthly socials. They get together and have meetings and talk about things on campus. Do we want to start a softball intramural team? What's going on? How's everyone's classes? They've made some really impactful changes for our veterans on campus, so we're really proud of them, and we're really excited to have this as part of a national group. So we're excited to have a chapter here on campus. It's a very robust chapter. We have a lot of veterans who use the Veteran Student Success Center. It's a very happening place. If you know veterans, it can get a little rowdy, but it's a nice place to just kind of hang out. And then we also have yearly events. So we do a holiday party, a graduation celebration, and all of those kind of yearly get-togethers for our veteran students to network, get to know one another. They're all family oriented, so bring your families and get to know some other members of your community. All right, so VA education benefits. If you are planning on using your GI Bill to return to school, or you have another education benefit available to you, first you would apply for that benefit through the VA. The second step would be to meet with one of our school certifying officials. We have 3 on campus. They're all located in the Veteran Student Success Center. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for you. And you can make appointments with us at citadel.edu/veterans/contact us. And then you would need to fill out your certification request. But again, any of our staff members can walk you through that. They can check on the status of your benefits at the VA. We can help you identify which benefit you may be eligible for. If you're eligible for benefits you may not even know about. Some of you have retired several years ago or discharged several years ago and may not be aware of things that are available to you. So if you have any questions, feel free to make an appointment with us. We'd be happy to walk you through all of your options. This is a QR code for additional resources. I'm going to leave this up for just a second, but I also want to mention our Fall 24 new student orientation. So this is open to all veteran and active duty students, graduate or undergraduate. And this is a time for all of our veteran students to get together. We talk through some of that transition between military life and academic life. We talk about some tips to succeed in school, some of those unique situations that our veterans may face on campus or in their classes. And we just kind of get together with some of our student resources, some that you've heard tonight and some that you may not have heard of yet. Just go over what's available to you. And then we also have a back to school beach bash. We hold this every year. It's at the Citadel Beach House, and it's usually the first Friday of classes in the fall. So it will be again, that first Friday, we invite all of our veteran students and their families to come hang out and play some games on the beach. But I'll leave this up as I walk off, but if you need anything, we'll be outside for just a little bit after this, I guess. And then, yeah, you can always contact us on our website.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. And as she said, we're going to have all of these student support tables outside when we spill out of here. So if you have questions, we'll be able to ask them out in the front. Now we're going to move on to Miss Jennifer Cleveland from the Career Center.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, is everybody good with the QR code?
Oh.
Yeah, thumbs up. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Citadel. I'm so happy that you have made this choice. I'm Jen Cleveland. I'm the director of the Career Center here at the Citadel. And I just want to congratulate you because I know how big of a decision this is. You know, it takes a lot to get to this point to really commit to furthering your education. And I know it didn't come easy. And so I want you to know that we are here to help you cross that finish line, right? So as you are hearing from your peers who are literally just about to graduate, you know, they were saying like, take your time, you know, be patient, know that it's a process and that we're here to help, right? So at the Career Center, that's what we're here for, right? As with all our services that are here. So this is us. This is our amazing team. We are actually located right across from this building, across the street. We're in a historic home. It's over 100 years old. So we like to keep a relaxed environment. We know you got a lot going on, so we want it to be a welcoming space that we really like to upkeep. But also, more importantly, we are happy to meet online. We know that you are very busy individuals, and so we are happy to meet you where you are, right? So our mission is to support you in your career development wherever you are in that process. We're all about putting together and supporting you in creating a strategy for your career. So I'm a big believer when it comes to a career, it's not about landing a job. It's about being strategic, right? It's honestly a game of chess. Wherever you're going next, you're positioning yourself for the next roles that come later. And so what we want to do is support you in that process of figuring out what's going to be most in alignment with you. So this is the team, and this is who I'm going to recommend you choose to work with. So we do have, I want to be transparent, we do have student workers that support the Career Center during walk-in hours. However, though, they're trained to work with cadets and undergraduate students, right? You all are further along in life and have a lot of experience. So what we want to do is support you with our full-time team. All of these amazing individuals that are up here on this screen are all trained in career counseling and coaching. And so what we are going to be here is to meet you where you are, no matter where you are in your process, whether you're transitioning or whether you are positioning for the next stage in a career path that you've been in. So how do we do that? So we take approach of explore, prepare, engage. So what I mean by that is we're going to be here to give you options, right? So whatever program that you're going into, right, you all have very specific industries and you also have a plethora of opportunities ahead of you, right? So we can help you looking through, okay, what is actually available, right? Prepare, I'll go through some of the resources that we have, but I just want to show of hands, who likes to put a resume together? I literally never see a hand, right? I know, it's my job and I don't even like it, right? You know, but I do for you all. I don't mind doing resumes for y'all. But that's something, right? Is like prepare, right? How do you put that all together, right? We're going to be here to help you through that process, especially too, as you are advancing in your career. And then Engage, we'll talk through some of the things that we have available for you to be engaging in your industry, right? So this is where it comes into play, right? We want you connected with your industry, whatever that is. So some of the ways that we do that is through career events, right? So graduate level, you are always invited to all of our career events that we put on. We put on multiple career fairs throughout the year. We do really large ones, but also two very industry specific ones, right? So also too, for those of you who are not able to come to campus for this, if you see something that is going on, right, contact us. And if there are employers that you are interested in being connected with, let us know. We will be more than happy to make an introduction and talk through that, right? So that's something where please be proactive with us. You can reach out to myself in particular anytime you want. You can also email the Career Center directly and we'll get you in contact with the right people. So as I said before, the top 3 questions that we get are, can you help me find hands-on experience opportunities to build relevant experience? Yes. Can you support me in building out my LinkedIn? Yes. Show of hands, how many people have LinkedIn? All right. That's what I like to hear. Awesome. Okay. So we'll definitely connect and really talk through how you can continue to optimize that for yourself. And then can you help me with my resume? Absolutely. That's something where we want to be really strategic, specifically on your industry. And let's be honest, applicant tracking systems are here to stay. So we'll help you strategize what keywords to make sure are in your resume. So you can set up one-on-one appointments with us. You can just reach out to the Career Center, let them know you're a grad student, and they'll team you up with one of our full-time team members. We'll be here too. I want you all to know if at any point you want to talk about interview strategy, salary negotiation, but then also too, looking to see what's out there. So you will hear at the Citadel that we use Handshake a lot. And what I want you to know, you're welcome to use it. However, though, the jobs do tend to be more entry level on there. So your alumni association has purchased a membership for you to utilize Career Shift, which is awesome. So that's much more advanced levels, right? That will give you a lot more options that we can talk through how you can utilize that to see what's available for you. And then to close out, just know that we're here to support. We recognize that each of you has a unique story that's bringing you to this career path, and we really want to be here to help you reach those long-term goals, right? And so it starts today, right? You're here, you're present, and what I want to encourage you to do is just reach out to us, your first semester, and we can just chat. You know what I mean? We can do a one-on-one and we can talk through what your career goals are and really talk through how you can make the most out of your time here at the Citadel and then position yourself for what you're visioning for yourself in the future. So that's our website. Connect with us, reach out anytime. And again, thank you so much for joining our community. Excited to connect with you.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right, we're going to keep moving with Miss Ruby Murray from the library. Here you are. Yes. Move to this. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ruby Murray. I'm the Programming and Outreach Manager for the Daniel Library. And what that actually means is that I have the opportunity to work with all students of the Citadel. So I work with our cadets, our veteran students, and our graduate students. So right here, you have an opportunity to see our hours. As students, one of the great things about the library is we are open 7 days a week. We actually have really good parking, not during football season, but pretty much we do have premium property when it comes to parking. So again, we are open 7 days a week. You also have the option of not only calling us from the library's homepage, you can actually make reservations with a librarian to help you start your research for whatever subject matter you're interested in. So we have a great collection. We have study areas that you can reserve, especially on the weekends, which may not be the best time for you, but again, you have that latitude to come on campus where you can be a little bit more focused. We have a beautiful museum and archive if you want to learn more about the Citadel's history. You can obtain research help. And so those are the advantages. One of the things I want to then speak to you about is what resources can you find at the library? We have books, we have free printing and scanning, we have an opportunity to, again, either meet with the librarian or schedule a meeting to work on your research skills. We have fun events multiple times during the semester. We have wonderful lecture series. The greatest thing going now is that we have access to therapy dogs. So about 3 or 4 times a year, we have opportunities where we will have therapy dogs come, and I'm excited that we are getting ready to have about 17 therapy teams come to campus next week for free coffee and donuts and an opportunity to be with the students. Libraries have changed. So in our library, we actually have a coffee shop. And so during those regular coffee shop hours, you can get coffee, donuts, snacks, and things of that nature. And then I want to use my last minute before you to encourage you to start and finish this journey. For myself, I'm one of you. I was a person that underwent a career change later on, and then to work in the library and work with all of our students. Some of you just finished your coursework, and so you're up to date on all the great things and the technology that's available. And then there's some of us who it's been a minute, and so now you're concerned, how am I going to keep up? Well, the great news is, guess what? So much can be done electronically. And so for those who know about quarters and Xeroxing and things of that nature, those days are over. So again, please reach out to the Daniel Library, myself, or our librarians. Schedule a time, because again, no matter what your discipline is, whatever it is you're getting ready to study, we have professionals there who'll be more than happy to help you do that research. And again, that will give you an opportunity to also, when you're on campus, a friendly place where you can stop by and say hello and get a chance to meet our staff. And then again, be excited about how we can help you be the most successful you can be in the classroom. So again, I welcome you. I was once one of you, and so I have a lot to offer. Our library staff has a lot to offer. So congratulations on selecting the Citadel as a place to continue your education. And more importantly, know that there are so many of us on campus who earned our master's degrees working full time. I used to do the Houdini act. I would check out the book, and then I would be sitting in the classroom like, wait a minute, didn't you just give me my books? Well, yeah. So again, we all have that experience in trying to encourage you to finish, but also if you ever need to have conversations or need access to resources that will make sure that this time as at the Citadel is not just a time of attendance, but that we all can make it to that wonderful day of graduation. So again, thank you. I'm Ms. Ruby from the Daniel Library.
Thank you, Mr. Ruby. All right, and to wrap up our student support spotlight, we have Ms. Dorian Howell, and she is a program manager with our Study Abroad program. Here she is. There you go.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Good. I know I'm here late on a work day, so you guys must be very lucky. So my name is Dorian Howell, like Aaliyah said, and not only do I work for the Center for International and Special Programs, but I also am a graduate student in the Master's of Science and Leadership program, as well as I previously was a part of the CGC team myself. So speaking at these events is always really exciting for me, and I'm really proud of this team and everything that they put together for you guys, and in order to make you guys as successful as possible. So here is our team. So Dr. Zane Siegel is our executive director. Amy Paris is our assistant director. Noah Kubanek is the assistant director for fellowships. And then that's me on the end. I am a program manager for the Center for International and Special Programs. So the most important thing for you guys to remember from this presentation is our abbreviation. It is CISP. So our website is citadel.edu/CISP. So if you remember nothing else, don't search study abroad, search CISP, because it'll come up faster. So I know that a lot of people think of studying abroad as only an opportunity that can come to you for your undergraduate degree. But we actually have a unique programs here that allow for graduate students as well to study abroad. So the benefits of studying abroad are having a better understanding of your culture, experiencing and interacting with people of different cultures, feeling more mature and confident and gaining valuable interpersonal skills. The things that you learn abroad will stick with you for the rest of your life, and it's such an invaluable experience that we feel fortunate to be able to offer to students that are undergraduate as well as graduate. So our faculty-led programs are the program type that we offer for our CGC students. Basically, you're traveling abroad with a Citadel faculty member and earning credit towards your degree at the same time. So there are 2 opportunities throughout each year that you can partake in faculty-led programs, and that would be during spring break or over the summer. So our spring break, basically it's associated with a specific section of an on-campus spring semester course. You travel abroad as a class and you get to bring the curriculum to life. So applying is the same as registering for any other class that you've registered for in the past. There's just an added component that is attached to that program fee, essentially. So the spring break programs that we had this year were Paris, Normandy, Cuba, and Panama. And the Normandy program was actually just specifically for CGC students. So that was a really unique program. And then you also are able to participate in our summer study abroad programs where you will earn 3 to 6 credit hours of course credit. And basically the way that you apply for that is if you go to our website, citadel.edu/CISP, you will see abroad office application portal, and you click on that and it'll take you to all of the different locations that we offer based on the term that you're looking to study abroad. So on the right side of the screen there, you can see the different locations that we are going to this summer. So we have some really exciting programs going out that are going to be incredibly valuable for all the students attending. So like I said, planning to study abroad, basically all you have to do is create your abroad office account, kind of do some research with your academic advisor, see which program is going to fit with your degree as best as possible. You apply to 1 program per term. And then the most important thing is making sure that you have a passport. So the one thing that I actually didn't know before working for the Center for International and Special Programs is that you're not allowed to go abroad if your passport expires 6 months within the time frame of you returning from your trip. So just make sure to keep that in mind when you're thinking of going on these abroad trips, is that your passport has to be up to date well after 6 months. We do offer scholarship opportunities through the Center for International and Special Programs. It's kind of dependent on your situation. So to get more information on that, definitely come to our office, and we can talk to you more about that based on your specific situation. So it actually works out really well that the open house is in this auditorium, because if you go out these doors and turn to the left, our office is going to be over at the end of that flag atrium on the right. So you can kind of see this map of Capers Hall. So the auditorium is right there. You just take a left and that's where our office is. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us or come by our office whenever you get a chance, and look forward to seeing all of you guys here.
Thank you, Dorian. Awesome. So you guys got a lot of information about our student support services. Again, they're going to be out in the foyer when you leave here. So if you have questions for them, they're going to have swag and all those different things, business cards. So feel free to take any of those. Now is the time where you got to get to choose. I know a lot of you guys came from our first tour, so don't feel like you have to go on our second one. But if you just joined us, we are actually giving another tour now. Shelby back in here in the back is going to be leading it. So if you want to go on a tour right now and get a view of the Citadel's campus, it's about a 20-minute to 30-minute tour. Stretch your legs. Feel free to go ahead and meet Shelby in the back and do that now. If not, we're going to give a brief CGC information session about applications. Shelby's also going to cover some of that, so don't feel like you're going to miss anything if you didn't get to go on the tour. So I'll give you like 5 minutes or so to decide what you want to do. Meet Shelby in the back or stay here with me and do the session. And we'll get started with both. All right. So feel free to, or use the restroom, whatever you need to do. We're going to give a 5-minute little break. Quick note to our virtual participants, drop some questions in the chat. I'm going to use this time to answer some of those, so please drop some questions in the chat for us. Right. I think everyone who is staying for the information session is here. So we're going to get started. We're going to do this a little differently than we planned, just because a lot of the information we have here you've already received from our support services. So wherever Mr. Fred went, he will be back and we'll have a microphone for questions. I want to reintroduce myself just in case you didn't hear my name before. I'm Aaliyah James. I'm one of the enrollment coordinators here. You probably have seen my name in emails or on the website, put a face to a name. This is just a brief overview of everything that the CGC offers to our students. Starting off, academic excellence is something that the Citadel thrives in. It's what we put for all of our students, and we've been ranked the #1 public college for in the South for a couple of years now, offering up to a master's degree. Also, we had a couple of veterans in here earlier. We're the #1 school, best public college for veteran students as well. So that kind of explains why we have that huge Veteran Success Center and how big of an impact they make on our campus. So talk a little bit more about student resources. You got to hear directly from Jennifer Cleveland about our Career Center. We really, really want to emphasize the importance of the Career Center, especially for our online students. I know I did my master's online, and sometimes it's a little bit intimidating when you're not at the school of how to use the resources, how to network. Our Career Center does a really good job of working with the online students. So if you're wanting to figure out how do I network and meet people in my career field, if you're making a change, or just be able to understand how to get the job that you're looking for with that master's degree, the Career Center is going to be your best resource. They're very helpful. I've used them a couple times here as an employee. I've done a couple classes here as well. Jennifer's team is awesome, so I can't recommend them enough. Definitely when you see them out there, use their services, take down their information. I'll go to the next slide. Talk a little bit about financial aid. So our financial aid for graduate students looks a little different than it looks for our undergraduate students, just because most of you guys are either using your job or you're paying out of pocket for your master's degree. And then for our undergraduate students, you're probably a little bit removed, not a traditional student who's 18, maybe coming back and doing a new bachelor's degree. So your financial aid looks a little different as well. But don't be afraid. Use our financial aid office. They are a great group of individuals who are going to help you figure out what it looks like to get some type of funding as a student. You heard a couple of our student support services mention graduate assistantships. So a lot of the offices across campus, if you're here local, we use graduate assistants, and that is a way for you to make income, get experience, network with our different offices across the campus. So if you're here and wanting to do one of those, it's about $18 an hour, and then you can work up to 15 to 20 hours in whichever office. Great experience if you're definitely wanting to make a career change. You know, if you want to work in HR always has a graduate assistantship open. So always look for those. Again, if you're an undergraduate student, we have work study opportunities, which is very similar to graduate assistantships. So that is if you're in the undergraduate space, you can also work up to 15 to 20 hours if you're here in person in any office across campus that is offering it. Unfortunately, for our online students, we don't have any of those positions available at the time for you guys, but you never know in the future what that might look like. So feel free to take on the information about financial aid. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some of their stuff out there as well, so that you'll be able to have that resource. Talk a little bit more about our Student Success Center. I want to reiterate how important this office is as well. When you're coming back to school and writing those papers, sometimes it's intimidating again. So feel free to use our writing lab. That is what the majority of our populations of students use. And then because we have a large group of students who are in our engineering programs, also feel free to use that math lab. Sometimes, you think you got it, go work with a tutor just to make sure you do. Again, we were able to have Lindsay Spring here to talk more about them. If you're a graduate student or undergraduate student here and you're wanting to kind of get your feet wet with tutoring students or working in this area, remember those work study and graduate opportunities. And then our veterans to students resources. So this again, we've already had a student and then the office come and speak with you guys. If you are a veteran, our school does a really good job of supporting you, whether you're a dependent of a veteran, an independent of a veteran, whatever, come use those resources because they are there for you. I mean, the lounge with the TV is enough. I wish I was a veteran to be able to use that throughout the day. But they also have a lot of really cool things. A lot of the employees here will actually donate things to the Veteran Student Success Center. So if you have like pantry items that you're wanting to do, or our guys, we also always say if you have some old suits that you're wanting to get rid of, button down shirts, bring those to our Veterans Success Center because our veterans are able to use those resources when they're going out for interviews or going out for new jobs. So feel free to donate to this office because they're doing a lot of really good things in the community for our veteran students. So yeah, take down their information. I believe they'll be here as well. I won't keep reiterating this because we've had them speak. And then again, our Daniel Library, they are just a great resource. Ms. Ruby talked really highly about the Daniel Library. My favorite part is the coffee shop in there because it's closer to my office on campus, so I can go pick up a coffee in the morning and get back to my desk. But if you're an online student, being able to access those journals and books online and not having to worry about where am I going to go in my city to go and find the book that I need for my class, just go online, use our sources. We also have a chat on the library's webpage. So if you're wanting to ask a specific question to, the front desk person, put it in the chat. Someone's going to respond to you. That's how we want to make sure that you as an online student feel like you're a part of our campus. So use that resource. They have some pretty cool stuff out there as well. All right, now before I move on to campus life, can I answer any overall questions about student support services? We've talked a lot about them, so you probably are an expert at this point about it, but if you have a question, raise your hand. Mr. Fred will bring the mic over to you. All right, we have one down here.
My question pertains to the library. I
Okay.
had heard one of the folks up on stage say that you can get a room and have students join. Now, if you're a graduate student and you're not on campus during the day, how does that actually work? And is that a virtual room or is that a real room with real people?
Great question. So that is actually an in-person room. So if you're a graduate student who are doing classes in the evening time, you can reserve a room in the evening as well. So it's not just for our daytime students. The library is open until 10 p.m. So those rooms are available for you to reserve through their website until 10 p.m. as a graduate student. Yeah, good question. Any other questions about student support services? All right. Cool beans. Sounds like that part of the day was very successful. All right, talk a little bit about campus life. So if you went on the tour, Shelby probably told you all about these different places, but they are a really cool part of the Citadel. So one that I want to highlight is the Beach Club out on Isle of Palms. Every year, as a staff, we actually go to the Beach Club for Staff Appreciation Day. They give us food and everything. So it's a really cool resource. If you have your family in town, come use it, take your parking pass, go down there, spend the day at the beach. They have showers and all those things. And this is not just available for you if you're here local. If you are an online student who are coming to visit the campus or visit Charleston in general, you can also access the Beach Club. So if you want to really impress your family members on vacation, come take them down to the Beach Club, enjoy the day out on the beach. Another really cool resource, which is kind of niche to Charleston, our boating center. So if you are someone who likes to go out on the water, you can actually rent boats from the boating center and use those at your disposal. All you need is your one card or a parking pass to access any of these resources. So we'll talk a little bit more about how you obtain those, but definitely if you're here local or if you're going to be visiting at any point, go ahead and get that one card or go ahead and get that parking pass so that you can use these resources. Another plug about our on-campus dining. So we have a Chick-fil-A, the canteen, Bond Cafe, and then Starbucks. So I'm just gonna talk about my favorite place on campus, which is Bond Cafe. Shout out to Miss Maddie, who always makes sure that we have good food throughout the day. They're open from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. If you're looking for on Thursdays a piece of fried chicken or some macaroni and cheese, that's where you find it. Miss Maddie will hook you up. I have also recently tried the canteen, which is in Mark Clark Hall by the Starbucks. There's also a lady there. We'll hook up a really nice bacon burger if you like it. So definitely, if you're on campus throughout the day, come eat some good food on campus. They'll make sure you're taken care of. Our Starbucks is a full service Starbucks. So if you have the points on your phone, you can scan it and get those points at their Starbucks as well. Can I answer any questions about any of our campus life on campus? Anybody? No? Not gonna make Fred walk. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you need both your student ID and your parking pass to get into the beach club and the boating area?
So the beach club, you just need a parking pass. You're gonna have to have one car. So whoever you're bringing with you, bring in that one car with you, and put that parking pass up. A lot of people, if you're bringing more than one, you'll bring that one car, get in it, park another car elsewhere. You just need that parking pass. The the boating center and the gym, just your one card.
Hi.
Hi.
So athletic events, if we want to attend any of those, do we have to pay for a ticket or can we get in with like a student ID or?
Yeah, great
anything?
question. So not baseball, I think it is baseball, football are all ticketed. So and basketball, you have to buy those tickets. volleyball, soccer, any of those, you can just come. If you have a student ID, awesome, but you don't need it to get into those events. Sometimes they have student deals for basketball, baseball, football, so definitely be on the lookout on your email for that, but all the other ones are free. Yeah, good question. We are a D1 school, so come support the Bulldogs. Our wrestling team did really good this season, so yeah. All right. Talk a little bit about who we serve with the CGC. So if you know about the Citadel, we are mostly viewed as the cadets, but the Citadel Graduate College and College Transfer Program, we support every student who is not a cadet. So if you're a graduate student coming back to get a graduate degree, if you're a transfer student coming back to complete a degree, so you were working at Trident, or you got an associate's degree 10 years ago and coming back to finish it, you're gonna fall under our transfer students. Or if you're active duty veteran, we support you. We're the people that you come and ask all the questions. We help with your application because we want to see you be successful as well. A really cool part of how we operate, all of these students in every population, except for our active duty veterans, are going to be on campus after 4 p.m. So you kind of get that experience of the Citadel without the cadets. We want to make sure that you feel welcomed here. So that's how we kind of separate the two. But that's who we serve here. So if you fall under any of these categories, that's why you're here. And we're hoping that we'll answer all your questions today. Talk a little bit more about our transfer programs, our 2+2 programs. So 2+2 is simply that you are going to be completing the bulk of your degree at another institution. So this is where all of our engineering and our nursing students fall. So if you are going into any of these programs, you're going to have at least 60 to 70 credit hours completed before you can transfer into any of these programs. So earlier you heard Mr. James talking about how he did 2 years at Trident and then came here. He completed all of those gen ed classes at Trident, and then here, all he took was civil engineering or electrical engineering classes. Same for our nursing students. You have to have those prereqs taken care of, and then you can transfer into the program. Again, this is just simply because we don't have the prereqs here. So we work with those different schools to make sure that you can have them completed. Now, for our degree completion students, you can also complete up to 2 years at another institution, but ultimately we are just asking that you have a minimum of 30 credit hours that you can transfer over. So if you were a high school student who was able to do dual enrollment and you have an associate's degree, you are probably eligible for one of our degree completion programs. Or again, if you did school years ago and you finished 2 years, this is a program that you probably will fall in as well. Can I answer any questions about that before I move on to graduate programs? I know sometimes that's a little confusing, but we're also going to be out there answering questions about that too. Okay, so just to talk a little bit about our graduate programs, this is where a bulk of our students fall. So we have graduate programs for anybody really who are looking for leadership, education, business. They all fall under our graduate programs. There are an array of students who do in-person programs, and there are an array of students who do online programs, but we also have students who do programs hybridly. So if you're in one of our education programs, you often will have the ability to take a couple classes in person, take a couple classes online. So graduate programs, definitely, all you need are your bachelor's degree. So as long as you have completed an undergraduate degree of some sort, you're able to qualify for one of our graduate programs. Okay, I'm pretty sure most of you all have an idea of which program you're interested in. We're going to have these program coordinators out in the lobby when you fall out so that you can speak directly with them and get information about the specific program you're interested in. Okay. Now, big question and the biggest part, how do you apply? So first, you're already kind of knocking out that first step. Research what program you're interested in. So coming here today, you're able to learn about the program you're interested in, figure out what it will look like for you to complete the degree, what is it going to benefit, how is it going to benefit you once you complete it. And then once you do that, you either speak to one of our team members or one of the program directors, go ahead and apply. That is the first step to do anything. Go ahead and submit your application so we have your name, so we have your transcript, so we have your letters of rec or your letters of intent so that we can make sure that you're on track. We do work on a rolling basis. We have entry terms throughout the entire year, spring, summer, and fall. So we're always here to help you get that application rolling and get you started whenever you would like to start. to talk a little bit more about our supplemental items. Each program is a little different. For every program, we do require you to complete the application and then to submit any transcripts you have. If you are a student who has multiple transcripts, submit them all because those classes might be transferable if you're undergraduate. And if you're a graduate student who's completed any graduate work, we accept up to 12 credit hours from graduate degrees. So feel free to submit that so that you can get that added onto your degree. For our education students, often we require a teacher certificate if you have it, a letter of intent as well, which looks like a cover letter for school, a resume, writing sample. And then if you are an international student, we do require a TOEFL, immigration request form, and all those different things. Miss Michelle's team is the team that will help you out with this. So if you have questions after you submit your application, often you'll get an email telling you what you need to submit. And if you have any more questions, give us a phone call. We're in the office 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. What does it look like once you submit your application? So it usually takes about 1 to 2 business days for us to process everything. So if you submit it on a Friday, give us until Tuesday to make sure that we have everything before calling and saying, "Hey, I submitted it and I don't have an email yet." Give us until about Tuesday to make sure everything is squared away. And then go ahead and get your transcripts and other required materials submitted as well. Usually you'll get a decision within 5 to 10 business days. On our best weeks, we get these back to you very quickly. If you submit on Monday, oftentimes you'll have an email from us Wednesday if you have submitted everything. The only way that's different is if you apply to one of our deadline programs, which is just clinical psychology and then School of Psychology and military history. Those are going to look different because they are based off of a faculty review. So it'll take a couple more weeks up to a month, depending on when you submit your application. Again, your decision comes via email from the CGC. Okay. All right, so my biggest plug for the day is if you walk away from here with all your questions answered, submit your application. It's on us, it's free. Use the GoDocs code at the end. Submit the application because that is how you're going to make sure that we know who you are and we get you through, and you can possibly start on May 6th if you want to. So definitely use this fee waiver code. We're going to give you another little card with a fee waiver code because we want you to know we appreciate you coming here and spending your afternoon with us, and we want you to apply. So if you have any questions about applications, you can find myself or Shelby. We'll be around after the presentations, and we can actually talk more about the application process. We're the ones who are processing them. So if you have more questions about that specifically, let us know. Happy to help. Okay. So we have about 5 minutes left before we transition into our faculty panel. Can I answer any questions right now about anything that I just presented? No? That means I did my job all right. Sounds good. All right, we're going to, oh, wait a minute. We have some questions in the chat. Let's see if they can. All right, so question in the chat. Once you register for classes, what can you expect as far as notifications of when classes start, schedules, and textbooks? Great question. So if you are a student who is already applied, already admitted, and starting in May, congratulations. We're actually going to be hosting orientation on next Monday, April 22nd, and that'll give you some more information. Basically, once you're registered for classes, go ahead and reach out to your advisor because they're going to be able to give you more information about the classes specifically. But as soon as classes start, you'll receive your class board on Canvas. So you'll be able to log in, get your syllabus, get your textbook information. All of that is going to be on the first day of classes. Any other things when it comes to like payments and stuff, reach out to Student Business Services. I believe they send some type of email out letting you know about your bill and everything there. And then I think this asked about scheduled textbooks. Yeah, I think all of that is going to be given to you on day 1 of classes. So if you're starting in the summer, May 6th, when you get up 8 a.m., whatever 8 a.m. is for you, you should have that live in Canvas. All right. I don't think we have any other questions. So I'm going to give a quick little moment for us to transition and get our faculty members up, get our people back from the tour. We're going to have our faculty panel. So faculty members, feel free to go ahead and transition. And I'm also going to turn it over to Mr. Greg Daly and actually let him lead this, so you guys can get a break from my voice.
While we're waiting on the tour to transition in, my name is Greg Daly. I'm the Director of Admissions for the Citadel Graduate College. So thank you, everyone that's in the room with us and the folks that are out there online. Hopefully you've gotten a lot of great information today. And we'll continue to get some information because after this session, we're going to give you the opportunity to transition out into the hallway. All of the majority of our schools and departments will have representatives there that you can ask individualized questions if you would like to that. And we'll also have some refreshments available because it's getting around that dinner hour, at least for me anyway. When you get to that 6 o'clock range, I have small children. So they're, oh, I got to hold it up. Being told I need to hold the mic closer. Okay, sorry. So with small children, you know, they're ready to eat at a certain time and go to bed at a certain time. They're in the elementary school range. So, you know, by 8 p.m., we're ready to get them in bed. But again, glad you're here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my faculty panel on the spot, and I'm going to have them just introduce yourselves just really quickly, who you are, what department you're in, what you teach, that kind of thing, if you don't mind. We'll start with Dr. Sherman.
Hello. Hi, my name is Brian Sherman, Department of Psychology. I teach primarily adult psychopathology, so I teach a few core courses and then a few practicum courses in the clinical counseling program. So adult psychopathology, one of my expertise as a clinical psychologist is substance use disorders, so I teach classes on substance use disorders. And then I teach basic counseling skills, advanced counseling skills, and within there, try to help mentor and advise students as best I can. But that is me. Welcome, and I'm happy to see you all here.
Hi, I am Dr. Brittany Kane, and I am currently the interim dean for the Zucker Family School of Education. I've been here 7 years, and I have been the literacy program coordinator and department head for the School of Ed. And so they wrote me in to talk about all things School of Ed. And I'm actually excited to do that. We serve a lot of graduate students, and we're really proud of what we do. So.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Dr. Todd Drew. I'm the Director of MBA and Transfer Programs for the Baker School of Business. I've been here just about 3 years, and I teach in both programs in the area of management and organizational change.
And my name is Jeff Davis, and I'm a department head of Civil, Environmental, and Construction Engineering. And I'm representing the School of Engineering that has 5 undergraduate degrees in civil engineering, construction, mechanical, electrical, computer, all undergrads with transfer programs. And then we have 4 graduate programs in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, as well as project management. And project management is available to anyone. It's not just engineering. So they're all great programs. And one thing I would just like to say is when you graduate and go through these programs, the curriculum is the same and the day and the night. And then you immediately meld with all the other Citadel grads into your professional areas that you work in.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Melissa Graves. I am the department chair for Intelligence and Security Studies. I teach courses on analysis and intelligence-related research, as well as homeland security. And I also teach a class on intelligence theory application, where we try to take what you've learned over the course of your graduate career and put it into practice. So thank you for being here.
All right, thank you. So we do have a wide breadth of knowledge here, so feel free. This is an open session, so if anyone's brave enough and you would like to raise your hand and ask a question, we're happy to do that. Also in the online space, you do have the availability to put your question in the chat. That will be relayed to me and we can go that way. But to kind of get us started, I've got a few softball questions for my panel here so that they can knock them out of the park for me. And if each of you for this, the first question, if you would like to answer it, you certainly may. But for the sake of time, not everyone on the panel has to answer each question with that. But if you feel engaged, just raise your hand. We'll pass the mic to you. For this one, how would you describe success of your students in both the graduate space, for some of you, only the graduate space, and then others of you in the graduate space and in the college transfer space? Dr. Davis, you have the microphone. You're more than welcome to answer.
Yeah, so our graduate programs are really focused on practicing engineers. And so it helps people in the real world. So like I came from Georgia Tech, very theoretical type program, and ours is cover the theory but very practically oriented. And then for the 5 undergraduate programs, the success would be students really finding their way and getting them on a path to become licensed professional engineers. So when you can do 2 of the 4 things you need to do become a licensed professional engineer while you're at the Citadel. One, get a degree from an ABET accredited program, and the other is pass the Fundamentals of Engineering exam. And then within 4 years, when you do the other 2 things, your whole career trajectory changes dramatically, and you can become a licensed professional engineer, which is very important to your career.
Dr. Graves?
Oh, thank you. So one of the things that I really appreciate about our program is that we have students with really interesting and diverse backgrounds. Our students are located all over the world and are in our program for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes we have people in law enforcement who are looking to get a master's degree because they want to move up in leadership. We have quite a few people in our program who currently work in the intelligence community, which makes for a very rich class discussion because you have people with all levels of experience in all different agencies weighing in on issues on a weekly basis, which is really fun from a professor's standpoint. But then we also have plenty of students who are transitioning into our master's program straight from undergraduate studies. And I would say that we kind of have a nice mix, maybe even, I don't know, it seems pretty equal between very traditional students versus students who are juggling careers and families, and what they want to do with a master's in intelligence and security studies can vary. So I have watched students as I mentioned earlier, they're using this to climb the career ladder because they know they need a master's to make it to the next position. I've also watched people use this degree to transition for the first time into the intelligence community, which is a really, really rewarding thing to get to kind of be on the sidelines and watch. And then occasionally, I even get a student who wants to go on and do a PhD. And so the mentoring that we do across the department is really based upon what students want to do with the degree once they finish, and sort of meeting them where they are presently in their lives and helping them, first off, helping us understand what their goals are, and where they want to get, and then offering as much guidance as we can to help them get there. So I would definitely say we are not a one-size-fits-all program.
Thank you. Would any of the other panelists like to respond to that question?
Yes, I would like to speak about our clinical counseling program, and just to highlight that success in our program involves the ability to achieve in a rigorous academic program. So heavy reading, heavy writing, but also the ability to self-reflect and use that self-reflection in the counseling room. So our program is designed to develop licensed clinical counselors, and part of that process involves feedback from faculty, not just on coursework, but again, on how you're doing in the program, anything that's coming up, in order to then be the best counselor that you can be in the room with somebody. So that is really what success is going to be, is doing the academic work and also the self-reflection that's going to enable you to be a licensed clinical counselor, which is the end goal of our program. So just wanted to add that piece.
Thank you.
So I'm from the School of Ed, and I guess I just wanted to add that one of the things I would piggyback on what Melissa was saying about how our coursework is really, really experiential, right? So most of our people come through, they have full-time jobs during the day. We plan for that. Our program is organized around the expectation that we are not the only thing that you have got going on in your life, right? We know that. And because we train and prepare educators, the thing that we really care most about is the people in your school, your teachers, if you want to be a principal, right? Your students, if you want to be a teacher, or if you already are a teacher, but you're pursuing advanced training in that. And so we really work so hard to make sure that you are learning the theory, but then you're also learning how to transform that theory into practice, right? And so it's really experientially based. I say to my students all the time, you better not design something that you can't use. Do not design something that you can't use. And they look at me like, they're like, is that real? Like, yeah. And then they'll come back to me and they'll go, I kind of thought you were crazy when you introduced that assignment, but that was the best thing ever, and it got me a job. And I'm like, look at that. I'm not trying to kill you for no reason, right? And so we really do know that you are working professionals, you are adults, right? And that your priorities are different than they were when you were in college. And so we are small enough that we can work direct, and I can say that of all of our programs, we are small enough that we can work directly with you.
Thank you. From a question from the online space, and Dr. Graves, you touched on a little bit, this question about, do these master's programs, can they lead into a PhD? And the answer to that is yes, but if you would like to expand.
So I'll just touch real quickly on our program. It can lead to a PhD. It generally does not. Our program is not research focused, although you do get background in research design and statistics. There are 2 required courses on that. I come from a research background, so I have done federally funded research at MUSC. So I'm always happy to mentor, advise that student that does want to pursue a research project. But the vast majority of our students do not go on to PhD programs. We do occasionally. I've only been here a year, and I was an adjunct prior, but I've only been in the faculty here for a year. I know one of our current students is going on to a PhD program to start in August. And in the past several years, there's been a small handful, but generally speaking, that's not the design of our program. It does happen, but it's not super common.
In the School of Ed, we actually have a program called an EDS, and people go, "What is that?" And it's a specialist in education, and it's actually sort of in between a master's degree and a doctorate. And that program is for people who would like to be superintendents of schools, which is really cool. It also has a direct partnership with Clemson University, where you can do some of your coursework in the EDS space with us, and then you move toward your Doctor of Education in at Clemson. So that's a neat program that we have for if you want that terminal degree. But then I think I'll echo what Dr. Sherman said about most of our people come through, they want to be practitioners and they want to be better at being practitioners. But that being said, if I had had the literacy degree before I started my PhD in literacy, wow, I would have, that would have been great. So we do have people go into their PhDs after us, absolutely.
We don't typically have people go into doctoral programs, but there's a vast demand for those that do in the area of business. So there's quite a few people retiring over the next 5 years in terms of projections in the business area. And right now, I think there are something like nearly 3 openings for every 1 business PhD graduate. So it's kind of a lucrative area to go into in terms of a PhD. And most of the people that do go into PhDs in business, you no longer pay for it yourselves. They ask you to teach or do some other services in those programs. And so you're able to do that kind of thing without taking a financial step back.
Yeah, so great question. Thank you for asking that. Again, like the other panelists have said, I think the majority of students in our program are practitioners or they want to be practitioners after they finish. But every year we get a handful of people who are interested in the graduate program. Basically just what can I do to continue my graduate work? Or, I want to teach at the college level. We have students that want to be professors. One of the things that I think maybe is interesting and sets intelligence studies apart from maybe some other more well-established disciplines is that, the field of intelligence studies has only been around for maybe the last 30 or 40 years. And one of the cool things about our department is that, in our own ways, we've all been a part of helping to build that field. So one of our professors, Dr. Jan Goldman, is the editor of one of the foremost journals in our field, the International Journal for Intelligence and Counterintelligence. And so he is regularly in contact with scholars from across the world, as well as, the latest research. The other thing that we try to help students with is sometimes we get students who know they want to continue graduate work, but they also want to apply that and they maybe don't want to teach in a college setting. So I'll give you an example. I had a tremendous student several years ago who was interested in AI, and this was pre-COVID. And so that is not our department's specialty, although we're certainly interested in it from a national security standpoint. But it was really rewarding to watch him transition from our program to graduate school at University of Oxford in England. And so, you know, I know that on my end, as well as some of the other professors in our department, we are regularly writing letters of recommendation for students who want to continue at other institutions. So if that's your goal in intelligence and security studies, we definitely have the willingness and, quite frankly, the passion to mentor you through that process.
Thank you. Great answers. The next question I have is, where have recent graduates of your programs, whether it's grad school, CTP, which is the college transfer program, I apologize, I use acronyms, I'm sorry. Where have they been employed? And maybe expand on it a little bit. You know, a big term now, you know, buzzword or acronym is ROI, return on investment. You know, what does that look like for your graduates?
So our graduates, the undergraduates, they actually have an amazing learning experience where they're working and getting experience, almost like a co-op. And then they graduate with two of the four things they need to become registered professional engineers, and they already have a foothold in the profession. And our graduates are working for Boeing, they're working for industry, Volvo, Mercedes, all the major manufacturers. They're also working for engineering companies, all the construction you see around Charleston. There's a lot of engineering behind all of that, and they're working for those companies. And then it puts them on a pathway. Once they get their registration, then they can become like a principal in a company and have the authority of an engineer, and the return on investment is incredible. So we've been teaching engineering at the Citadel for 180 years, and we're the 5th oldest engineering program in the country. So we have lots of famous graduates. We have a tremendous brand recognition for engineering, and then our students really benefit from that they're widely known, and then they get on a pathway to be, you know, in executive positions or ownership positions in many different. There's so many niches in construction and engineering that our students have taken advantage of.
Most of our students, practically all of our students in both programs are already employed, but what we do find when we do survey work and talk to our graduates is that the opportunities for advancement are greatly improved from completing an undergraduate or a graduate degree. One of the real values of going to graduate school, for example, is the ability to network. And so even in online programs, you're meeting people that you can build relationships with and understand new opportunities in business and other areas, and you can take advantage of those throughout your career. And we have a lot of students that do that. We've had students that have interacted with one another and decided to start companies down the road together and things along those lines. For all of our programs, the Citadel brand is outstanding. Our alumni are known for their commitment and their sense of community. And so if you're a Citadel graduate from any of the programs, one of the things you can do is look on LinkedIn and find other people in target areas of interest to you, target industries, target occupations, target employers, and you have something to talk about right off the bat. It's an instant connection.
So yeah, we have excellent return on investment. I like the use of that term in this context. I would say I talked about the EDS to EDD program earlier. Everybody who was in the EDS program and wanted to go on to pursue that terminal degree at Clemson was able to do so. I have a big bunch of beautiful pictures of people in their graduation caps, right? Going on to get their doctorate. We are absolutely thrilled to say that one of our double dog graduates, she went to both, got her teacher preparation with us and then also her literacy degree. She's one of the top 5 finalists for the best teacher of the year in all of Charleston County, which, I mean, that's no joke, guys. There's a lot of teachers in Charleston County. So we're thrilled about that. I think we had 5 or 6 rookie teachers of the year last year after they graduated from us. So I mean, man, I'm so proud. Every time somebody sends me something from social media, I go, "Ah, look at that. I'm not surprised at all." One of our practicum supervisors, right? People in the field who help support our students when it's time for them to go do their internships. She wrote to us and said, "Man, thank you for sending me your school counselors. You guys have the best school counselors." She's like, "I work with, graduates from all over the place, and you guys, you have the best." Um, you know, to be more specific about what people do, they get jobs in teaching. Really, I mean, take your pick, right? Like they get teaching jobs all over in the Low Country, particularly because that's generally where they want to be. Literacy graduates will take jobs as reading specialists or instructional coaches, which is a big deal. Those in our ed leadership program take jobs in instructional coaching, assistant principals, or principals, which is really exciting for them. And then we do have those few superintendents, right? And actually, the superintendent of Colleton County School District is one of ours, as is the superintendent of Charleston County School District. So we're proud of those things.
So the vast majority of our graduates go on to do private practice of some sort. Some will go into group practices or other community counseling centers, but the majority do go on to open their own their own practices. So you get some education and mentoring around opening a small business. But what's really neat also about opening a practice is that through the program, people are developing their interests in the specific populations they want to work with. So counseling, broadly speaking, can apply to any number of situations and populations. So we have folks who are working more with veterans, more in substance abuse, more with LGBTQ populations, or any other number of populations that folks are interested in working with. So we provide career counseling and mentorship along those lines to help people develop their own interests, as well as coursework in certain areas. But the majority do go on to open and develop their practice. We also have a really great alumni network. So we have alumni events within our program where people get to network and meet and potentially collaborate or go on to develop practices with one another. Supervision is also a part. So to get your license, you have to have a certain number of supervised hours post-graduation. And oftentimes, those supervisors will take on their supervisees within their practice. So you kind of have this network effect as well with the supervisors that you may go on to work with after completing your coursework.
Thank you. Time for just one more question, and I may just get one or two of you to answer this. Would you mind describing what, from a graduate school perspective, what does success in the classroom look like? We have students that are transitioning from undergrad to grad. What does that transition look like?
I'll just touch on this briefly and then pass it along, because I kind of mentioned this earlier. There's a decent amount of academic work, readings, engaging with clinical case study materials, but a big part, again, of the clinical counseling program, and also in school psych, is that ability to hear, receive feedback, and also to self-reflect on your own perspectives and how those might impact the counseling relationships that you go on to develop with your clients. So that's a big part of it, because our classrooms are also experiential in that we're doing role plays, we're working with students one-on-one in their case study development skills. So all of that is part of academic success as well.
I'm going to say something, it might be controversial. But colleagues of mine and I were talking recently about, when do you figure out that grades don't matter? She said it. You need to do a good job. You need to learn as much as you can. You need to care about what you're doing in grad school. Absolutely. But they are not going to ask you for your GPA. They sure aren't. They're going to say, did you get that degree? And then they're going to expect you to do the work, right? And I think that that's a real transition point where a lot of us, I will include myself, when I went into graduate school, I was like, it's the A is so important. The A is so important, right? And early on, we get lots of emails from young grad students going, wait, you only gave me 8 points out of 10, right? And then we have to do that mentorship where we go, it doesn't matter, right? What are you learning from this? How are you going to use this tomorrow in your work? How are you going to think about your work differently globally when you do this work? So I think that's really important. And I would just say, kind of along with that comes this willingness to fail, right? We're grown-ups now. We are grown-ups. And so you got to get out there. You went to graduate school to try something new, like try it. You don't believe what the professor's saying. You think it's crazy. Okay, try it out. See, right? Have the sort of intellectual integrity to go chase that up and make your own professional decisions. Because it really is, it's a different world. And it's a world of adults trying to do good in the broader society.
I'll tell you what leads to success in our program, and I'll be brief. Study and don't procrastinate. If you read what we're telling you to read and do what we're asking you to do at the front end of your week, particularly for online courses, and you have questions, immediately ask. Because one of the great things about the faculty at the Citadel is they're very responsive. They want you to succeed. They want you to help, but they can't do that 15 minutes before the deadline. So for online programs particularly, but graduate programs in general, start your work early, and it's best to schedule that work like it's a class, even though you don't have to be at a class. And for me, to get through all my time, it was Saturday mornings, 8 to 10:30 or something like that. Religiously, I did a lot of my work in that time period, maybe even started at 7. And so I just knew that was in my schedule. I scheduled around it, and I did my work a week before it was due so that if I had questions, I had time to get those questions answered.
So I would say that success in our program and kind of what we hope to see are a couple of things. We want students to realize that there are so many issues related to national security that affect what's going on in the country and in the world. The Citadel has an amazing tradition of placing alumni into national security positions, all the 3-letter agencies, all areas of the federal government, and has had that tradition for a very long time. So, you're following in the footsteps of Citadel alums who have truly done and are doing amazing things for the United States, which is awesome. The other thing is figuring out kind of what is your passion during this graduate program. And I'm always struck by how people can bring in their own backgrounds. And sometimes they even think their backgrounds aren't relevant to national security. For some reason, we've attracted several music people, like serious music people, like I had a PhD musicologist and a professor of jazz music, 2 different people in our program. And I was so excited because I said, how do you feel about the NSA? Because they love musicians because they're typically really great at code breaking. There are all sorts of idiosyncratic backgrounds that you can have that are going to help you in a career. And so that's a really exciting thing for us, is just trying to help you understand, what do you as an individual, given your background, given your passion, and given your areas of expertise, what do you bring to this community, and how can you apply that knowledge in the best way?
Great job. Thank you to our panelists. We're going to transition now to our next phase, which is to give you all an opportunity to, number one, stretch your legs. Some of you have been in here since 4 o'clock this afternoon, potentially. So, but we also have the opportunity, again, in the hallway here, we not only have our faculty members, we also have some of our student support staff, such as financial aid, folks from the library. If anyone is interested in military career, Army ROTC is here that can answer some of those ROTC questions, because yes, that is also an opportunity in the college transfer program and the grad school space on that front. So with that, I'm going to let you all head outside. We also have some refreshments out on the courtyard, but this is your opportunity to network and mingle and get questions answered. So thank you all for coming.